In the crystal spire of the fugue plane, where time wears a shroud of ash and silence hums like the breath of eternity, a tome is opened. Its pages, made of calcified vellum and bound in quiet despair, receive the hand of the scribe. A quill of hollow bone scratches faintly in the stillness. The words are not written, they are exhaled. And thus, Jurgle writes, "On Io, the Hidden One, as whispered by Jurgle, Lord of the End of Everything, in the crystal spire, they say the beginning is shrouded in unknowing. Even I, whose memory threads through the stillborn ages, do not recall the moment the first spark flared in the void. There was only absence, and then there was Io, not born, not made, simply there, as if he had always been, watching from behind the fabric of reality, watching and weighing. We, the divine, speak of creation with the arrogance of children claiming a castle of sand as their dominion. But the grains, the very laws, the firmament, the soul stuff that would become stars and thoughts and gods, those were his to scatter. Some say Io shaped the sphere, the shell of what would become realm space, that he birthed twin sisters, Shah, cloaked in night, and Saloon, a flicker of radiant defiance, and left them to squabble and shape the world in their own image. Others claim a broader truth, that Io drew the stars themselves from the phlogisten's burning flow, exhaling the astral sea from thought alone, dividing time and space like a blade drawn across still water. But I remember none of it, because none were there to remember. Io does not allow witness. He did not create the gods for companionship. He did not shape the cosmos for admiration. He forged purpose. During the final breaths of the days of thunder, when the Batrachi loosed the primordials in desperation, the world screamed with ruin. Asgarath, the world shaper, yes, but also the world breaker, flung ice and rage upon the world, and in its shattering wake, Io awoke. The world bled, the balance teetered, and the Hidden One moved, not with wrath, but with judgment. With a word never spoken aloud, he tore Abertoril asunder. Two worlds, twins, yet never to meet. One for gods, one for monsters, neither to triumph. Balance imposed by an unyielding will. And then he forged the tablets of fate. Not relics, not artifacts, but laws. Scripted in concept, rather than language, they bound the divine to their domains and circumscribed the borders of chaos. They were elegant in their finality. I saw their echoes in the patterns of death and duty that followed. Even I, the keeper of endings, felt the sharp geometry of his law pressing upon me. Time passed. Gods bickered. Mortals prayed. The balance held until the divine forgot why they existed. They grew vain, petty, entertained by the worship of mortals rather than called to purpose by it. Their dominions became thrones, their portfolios, jewels for display. Then Bane and Merkul, both knowing little of consequence, stole the tablets. A fool's act. They believed his strength was hidden within them, that the law could be bent if the letter were stolen. Io asked for their return. None answered, so he unmade the divine order. One by one, he cast us down from our thrones. We fell, not with sound or fury, but with the soft inevitability of ash settling on stone. Our power gone, our domains flickering like half-remembered dreams. Only Helm, steadfast and without ambition, remained above, standing watch with the solitude of stone. It was not vengeance. Io does not rage, he corrects. The time of troubles had begun. In time, mortals succeeded where gods failed. They, Cyric the liar, Kelemvor the just, Midnight the light, returned the tablets to their rightful place. But Io, he looked upon us, and he did not smile. Even in our abasement, we had not learned. So he shattered the tablets of fate, ground them into meaningless dust. It was not punishment, it was permission. The laws were gone, the bounds unspooled, the weave frayed, realm space trembled. The era of upheaval began, and the gods once more stood, but now amidst chaos they had never imagined. And Io, he receded. No judgment, no praise, no punishment, only silence. To know Io is to accept that you will never know him. He does not speak, he does not war, he does not die. He observes, he balances, and when the fulcrum tips too far, he acts. I, Jurgle, who once held dominion over death entire, who gave up crown and scythe to 3 mortals in boredom. Even I tremble at the thought of him. He is not fate, he is the frame upon which fate is hung. And when we fail to uphold it, he removes the canvas. Thus ends this scribing. Let none seek him, let none name him, let none think they are beyond his reach. The page closes, dust stirs, and the whisper of the end lingers a moment more, before silence reclaims the grey. Before the time of troubles, the question of who the gods answered to was a philosophical conundrum better suited to sages than priests. During the coming of the avatars, however, it was revealed that the powers themselves had a deity, or at least a more powerful entity, who had the ability to chasten and punish them for their actions. This entity is Io. He was present during the time of troubles, yet since that time has retreated to his home plane, dimension, or existence, and has not responded to mortal entreaties since, though one paladin claims to have seen him in a vision. While the inhabitants of the realms are aware of his existence, there is little reason for them to call on him or seek his words of wisdom, which would be unforthcoming in any case. Io is the only overgod in realm space and the multiverse. He lives beyond the bounds of the rankings of deities, powers in any way. He is considered to be more powerful than any other god and all the gods combined. He has little concern for day-to-day mortal life, but he regards the powers of the realms as his creations. He requires no worshippers and grants no spells to mortals. It is doubtful that he even listens to mortal prayers or pleas. He serves as a watcher and a guardian over the realms from outside of its cosmos. Io, when he appears, as he's only done once recorded by scribes, takes a form that is 12 feet tall. His face is ageless, neither young nor old. His visage is neither handsome nor ugly, and has even symmetrical and unremarkable features. His hair and beard are white. He wears a robe that appears to be made of celestial cloth. The robe is black and dotted by millions of stars and thousands of moons, all arranged in a pattern that is not quite perceptible, but which gives the whole robe a beautiful, harmonious feel. Theoretically, his avatar can do anything. Normally he acts only upon deities, not mortals. He may promote any sentient being to any stature of godhood instantly if it accepts the responsibilities and duties of the divine state. And he may also demote a deity at will. Immediately following the time of troubles, cults rose up that worshipped Ao directly. These cults appeared suddenly and then evaporated, just as quickly when it became clear that Ao did not answer prayers, offer protection, or grant spells to faithful priests. Direct worship of him has subsided, save for a cult in Waterdeep itself and a cult in his name in Zazespur, in Tether, which turned out to be backed by Cyric, not Io. The group in Waterdeep tends to behave more like a debating society than a church, and its members act in accordance with the tenets they believe Io espoused by seeking to maintain the balance among the various deities and their faiths. The established faiths of Faerun do not see any reason to speak out against or act against the cult of Io, because they do not fear it. Their high priests have been informed by their deities that he does not interact with mortals. Most doctrinal discussions of the Waterdavian cult of Io are partially or totally phrased as questions. These include Io as the overpower. But what does that mean, really? Does he worship someone? What would that being's function be? If he did not create the realms, only the powers of the realms, then who did, if anyone? Some cults of Io are more activist and feel that it is their responsibility to ensure that all faiths in the realms actively support the assigned portfolios of their deities. Most of the activities of the cult center around debating the meaning of his nature, what he said during his sole appearance during the time of troubles, and whether he serves another over-god himself. Jurgle opens another tome, a hard-faced black book. It bears a constellation on it, dancing silhouettes of an infinite number of colors, recorded as the 7 chapters of AO. Chapter 1. Time's cycle breaks. There is a sound I've heard more than any other. It is the sound of names being forgotten, the fall of divine titles into silence as temples crumble, as prayers are no longer uttered. Power, be it mortal or divine, is a momentary aberration. Only the ledger endures. I record these things not for those who will read them, but because they must be recorded. The crystal spire keeps my memory bound in ink and utterance. Here, within the lifeless still of the fugue plane, I observe the architecture of endings, and of those whose endings do not come. Io has no ending. He is not of the same material as the rest. Not even I understand his origin, and I have known the deaths of titans and stars. He is not life. He is not death. He is the frame around both, the warden of laws, the keeper of balance, the unchallenged arbiter. Chapter 2. The Second Sundering. In the century following the first unraveling, what mortals called the time of troubles, the world suffered imbalance yet again. The spell plague had torn Toril and Abir into violent juxtaposition. Domains were stolen, gods returned or were erased. Chaos, as always, spread like rot among divine and mortal alike. Io observed. He allowed it, until the chaos no longer served the balance. And then, without ceremony, he began the Second Sundering. Mortals believed this to be an event of cataclysm, but it was not. It was an act of redefinition. Io reasserted the boundaries between Abir and Toril. He reshaped the tablets of fate, not to punish, but to restore the hierarchy. I remember the first tablets, carved when the world had not yet cooled. Those ancient slabs held the roles of gods, their names and domains etched in perfect balance. The divine did not understand their significance, but I did. They were not artifacts. They were instructions. When the gods proved they could not be trusted to follow those instructions, Ao destroyed them, and when they continued to fracture, he made them again, tighter, less forgiving, more specific. This is not tyranny. This is function. This is not wrath. This is correction. Chapter 3. Rules without debate. Io has never been an interventionist. He does not weave fate. He does not speak unless necessity demands it. But he defines the parameters in which others may act. It was once the rule that no two gods could share a portfolio. Such a law created conflict, ambition, and death. I recorded the aftermath of that decision across epochs of divine warfare. Eventually, Io discarded the rule, not because it was broken, but because it no longer served a purpose. When gods warred over identity, Ao allowed it. When mortals ascended without wisdom, Ao observed. But when the imbalance threatened the cohesion of the Pantheon itself, Io rewrote the truth. He does not ask permission. He does not require consent. I watched as gods were stripped of divinity, some erased entirely, others merged, still others reduced to echoes, lingering in cults and half-forgotten shrines, not because they were evil, not because they failed mortals, because they failed balance. Chapter 4. What is Io? Mortals ask if Io is a god. Gods ask the same. He is not. He exists beyond that fragile classification. He does not require faith. He does not respond to worship. He is not shaped by mortal thought. He does not compete for followers. He is entirely independent of belief. His presence is a law, not a personality. I-O has never died. He cannot. His existence is not life. I, who once bore death as a mantle, understand this. The gods of death change, their names rot, but I-O remains. Chapter 5. Interlopers and Ascendants. He permits some to ascend. He bars others. No being becomes a god without Ao's consent. The power may be taken, the form may be assumed, but true godhood, presence in the fabric of the cosmos, is impossible without his decree. Many powerful mortals have sought apotheosis. Some have succeeded. Others fell into oblivion, their ambitions unrecognized. They believed they had failed through weakness. They failed because Ao denied them. He decides whether an interloper deity may act within Abir Toril. If Ao says no, no prayer will reach them. No power will pass through them. They may rage against the barrier, but they will not breach it. He may restore a dead god if their purpose becomes necessary again, and he may undo their existence with equal ease. I have recorded each of these moments with equal weight, a name etched, a name crossed out. My hand does not tremble. My mind does not protest. Chapter 6. I-O and his disposition. Though he is not cold, he is not compassionate. There is no moral charge in this. Only the assertion of roles. Murderers should murder. Protectors should resist them. This is the function of portfolios. This is what gives order to the otherwise mindless chaos of creation. When gods stray from their roles, he reacts with swift, quiet violence. They are rewritten or erased. They may cry out. It does not matter. He is unmoved by prayer, but not always unfeeling. There are accounts of him being touched by sacrifice, moved by oration. Such reactions are anomalies, not contradictions. Even I once knew emotion before entropy consumed it. Io may smile, he may mourn. But these things are beside his purpose. They are not why he acts. Chapter 7. Final remarks. Io is not part of the Pantheon. He is the reason it has shape. You cannot pray to him. You cannot defy him. You cannot matter to him. And yet, all that exists within realm space owes him its limits, its order, its survival. The gods may change. Mortals will perish. The stars themselves may dim, but he will remain, until even balance is no longer required. And then I will write his name last. Jurgil, who remembers the first death and will remain to witness the last. In a forgotten temple dedicated to myself, Jurgil, Lord of the end of everything, I shall place a vessel, a withered shape, dressed in robes more ancient than memory. His flesh will not rot, for it was never alive. His voice will echo, but no air will stir. He shall be called Withers. He will not preach. He will not promise. He will remind. Withers will dwell in silence until approached, not summoned, but found. When the curious, the desperate, the dying stumble upon that dust-laden ruin, they will find him seated beneath my broken sigil. And when they speak the names of gods, when they ask why their prayers go unanswered, or their deities shift like wind-blown ash, he will teach, not of death, not of judgment, but of the gods and the worth of a mortal life. There is an order to the cosmos, he will say. Not a hierarchy, not a pantheon, but a design. The gods are permitted, not exalted. They are bound by a will greater than theirs, a will they cannot shape, only serve. This is the will of I-O. He will tell them of the balance, that all gods exist not by faith, but by function. That when two deities clash, it is not a matter of might, but of permission. That portfolios are granted, not taken. That ascension is not a reward, but sometimes a punishment. Withers will not command worship. He will not accept offerings. Those who kneel will be ignored. Those who threaten will be forgotten. But those who ask, truly ask, will hear. So he has spoken. So his will be maintained. For this is not doctrine. It is truth. It is a structure I am preparing for a time of collapse, when the gods once again forget their place, and mortals are crushed beneath their pride. When the balance strains, I will not raise my voice, but Withers will. And if Withers is destroyed, if the temple is swallowed by war, buried beneath the shifting chaos of divine ambition, then I will send another, and another, and another. For this is not a sermon, it is a correction. The world must remember, Io does not care to be known, but his will governs all. And I, Jurgle, who surrendered death, who measures silence, who sees the rise and fall of all names, I will see that it is not forgotten. This is the plan. It does not end. So it is written. So it shall be made real. The final word has not been spoken, only prepared. Jurgle within the crystal spire, where no prayers reach, but all truths remain.